So we are going to bring up another pitcher. It's a little bit more than a startup. I would call him a scale-up, but it's definitely still a pitch. Nicolas Carey is the co-founder of blockchain. And if you follow financial services trends at all, you will see a lot about blockchain. Blockchain is the software that is making Bitcoin transactions safe, easy, and secure. And the company isn't even 3 years old, and it is already being used worldwide. And it has received $30 million in investments from investors, including Sir Richard Branson. So I want to bring Nicolas Carey up on the stage. Oh.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. It's been quite a little bit of a reflective journey this morning. I stayed at City Hub, which is this hotel concept where you sleep in a small pod. So I have a RFID chip that I gain access to everything in the facility with. There's almost nobody that actually works there. And I hatched out of my pod this morning. I pulled out my iPhone. I checked Google Maps to see how long it would take me to get here. And then I ordered an Uber. And so I'm the millennial that's sort of inheriting and living with all this digital DNA. And I did pay a huge surcharge today on Uber, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to have to be buying drinks for everyone tonight. Against the backdrop of being in this building, which at one time was one of the largest stock exchanges in the world, it's particularly poignant to be here now to talk about the future of money. And so my name is Nicolas Carey, and I'm the co-founder of a firm called Blockchain. We are a European-based business. We have offices in New York and Luxembourg and London, where I'm based. And I want to take a little trip down memory lane. I really like photography, and I take lots of pictures everywhere I go. And I used to have to develop my photos. Now, no one who's born on Earth is going to know what that means anymore. The word is kind of obsolete. I used to have to go to Blockbuster and drive my car to get a VHS tape, and sometimes they had the things I wanted in inventory, and other times they didn't. And now I can download pretty much any content from any content provider, large or small, instantly to any mobile device, nearly for free. And we know what happened to Blockbuster. The same thing with mail. I travel quite a bit. I've done about 180,000 miles this year alone, and I think I'll be on track to outpace last year, which means I have to buy some carbon footprints to offset. It's been a little crazy. But I keep in touch with my friends and family in digital ways. I missed my mother's birthday again this year, and my mother is a French woman, and hell hath no fury like a European mother. But I did send her a card, and I sent her an email with a picture of a flower in it, and that's kind of what I was able to do this year. But it reminds me that of all these services, the digital world is part of our DNA now. It's part of how we share our experience with our loved ones, how we consume our content. I think money can be digital too. And so this is what Wall Street looked like in 1957. This is kind of what Wall Street looks like now in full color. It's a $13 trillion industry. It impacts every single moment of our lives as we transact with each other. And we all spend most of our lives in pursuit of money. And I think it's pretty important to think of ways to reinvent access to financial services. So the mission of my company is to build an open and fair and equitable payments platform for the whole world, one piece of software at a time. Centralized banking has built an enormous amount of inefficiency in itself, and it's not its fault. It's primarily because most people really just couldn't trust each other, so they had to put all their money behind large brick walls. But software and code have changed all of that, and digital currencies like the Bitcoin network and other blockchains that you'll hear about bring incredible cost efficiencies, incredible security, and a level of transparency that we've never had ever before. The financial services is one of the most regulated industries on earth, and that's because as we trust someone else with our money, we really need to make sure that they're doing proper things with it, that they are lending it to the right people, and that they aren't doing horrible things with our savings. So for those of you that have never seen a Bitcoin transaction, I'll talk a little bit about that now. Anyone in the world can download a piece of software on iOS, Android, or install it on the web, so you can visit the App Store now and download an app that with 10,000 lines of computer code completely replaces your need for a bank. Let that sink in for just a second. free software that's open source, that doesn't care what country you come from, what your gender is, what your credit score looks like, can let you be in charge of your own financial destiny. And just like I can sign up for an email account anywhere in the world with an email address and a password, anybody on Earth can set up a Bitcoin wallet on their phone now, show someone a Bitcoin address, and receive funds. When they do that, those transactions get sent to something called the blockchain, which you're going to hear a lot more about over the coming years. The blockchain is basically a big spreadsheet in the cloud. There are copies of it all over the world, and it's constantly getting updated. It's run by volunteers, and anybody can verify the transactions. This is a live stream from the blockchain right now. There are hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transactions happening on this network on a weekly basis. My firm is adding over 100,000 new users a week across the country, serving people in over 150 countries. So, going a little fast there. We have about 7.25 million users. We've facilitated around 40 million transactions on a peer-to-peer basis, and we're one of the fastest growing technology companies in the world. Our time on site and the number of people visiting our platform to transact grow and increase month over month. So in closing, I want to share with you a little video that we've put together that I hopefully captures how we feel about this movement. But let's remember that just 20 years ago, some of the top reporters in the world were asking, what is internet anyway? And let's watch this video. You'll be the first in the world to see it.
The digital world is a part of our DNA now. It's how we share our experiences, how we consume our entertainment, how we stay in touch with our loved ones. This is how we used to send letters, to travel, to make phone calls and shoot movies. Mankind invented software and technologies, breaking every distance, border, difficulty, and pulling the world instantly closer together. But what about banking? Think about it. Billions of people in the world have no access to financial tools. Borders and the system create barriers. We trusted banks, but they collapse time and time again. They take hundreds of billions in fees from us. Bitcoin doesn't care where you're born, what color your skin is, or where you are in the world. It's an open network. It's maintained equally by people all over the world. Anyone can verify the transactions, and it happens instantly. For just a few cents, you can send any amount of money to anywhere in the world. Bitcoin is a global community of inclusion, an invitation to participate in an open world. Join us today, start a Bitcoin wallet, and help us shape the future.
So if anyone wants to join us, we're hiring like crazy, and I'd be grateful to talk to anyone to learn from all of you. And thank you very much for hosting us in Amsterdam.